In this video, I will teach you how to sit in Siddhasana, just the way I'm sitting right now. And I will teach you this in a gradual manner, going from beginner to master of the pose, by first introducing you to the simpler variant, called Ardha Siddhasana, and then progressing to the regular Siddhasana. And finally, I will teach you the reason for why exactly it is important to sit the way you do in Siddhasana. Siddhasana, also known as the accomplished pose or the perfect pose, is a yogic asana suitable for sitting stable in meditation, and it is especially useful for when doing practices to stimulate the energies of your pranic body, the energy body. Siddhasana is in fact one of the most commonly used advanced sitting poses of yoga, just as Padmasana, the lotus pose, also is. The main difference between the two is that Padmasana is slightly more conducive to deeper meditative states, as this pose locks your body in position in a way that can easier make you forget about the body after a while. Whereas Siddhasana, on the other hand, is a little better suited to energy work, particularly in the beginning of your yogic journey, when you first start working directly with the energies of your pranic body and need the additional stimulation which Siddhasana provides. But more of this in a bit. Siddhasana is also easier to learn to sit in than Padmasana, but some exercise to open up the hips are still worthwhile to practice beforehand, to easier be able to sit in the pose correctly. The same way as when training for Padmasana, you can perform the hip opening exercise of the butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana, if you want to watch a longer demonstration of the butterfly pose. You can do so in my video of Padmasana by clicking up here, but I will now provide a brief demonstration of the butterfly pose. Have your back straight and keep the soles of the feet pressed together. Then you move your legs up and down like butterfly wings flapping. Some ankle stretching movements are also worthwhile to perform before sitting in Siddhasana, because to sit in the pose correctly, you will need to bend the feet in a certain way, putting strain on the ankle joints. You can do some simple bending movements to train your ankle joints, like this. Bend the feet up and down, to the sides. Do this gently and do not apply too much pressure. This is especially useful in the beginning, when first learning to sit in the pose, and you are not used to the way the feet are bent. You may also stretch your toes, as they would bend slightly while sitting down in Siddhasana. Remember to do this gently and to not apply too much pressure. You can also stretch your legs back and forth before sitting in Siddhasana. When training for Siddhasana, you can start out by first sitting in an easier variant of it, called Ardha Siddhasana, or half Siddhasana, as Ardha means half in English. To sit in this variant, you place the heel of one leg pressing against the perineum. The perineum is situated between the anus and the genitals, Next, you just place the other leg on the ground in front of the first leg. Then you place your hands on the knees, relax the shoulders, and keep your back straight. Now I will demonstrate how to get into Ardha Siddhasana. Begin by sitting with both your legs stretched out in front of you, like this. Then tilt the left leg a little to the side, bring it inwards, place it against the perineum. Then you bring the right leg inwards and place it in front of the left leg, like so. Now you're sitting in Ardha Siddhasana. Know that later in the video, I will provide a closer view of how to place the heel against the perineum. To get used to the pose of Ardha Siddhasana, or later for the regular Siddhasana, you can sit this way also whenever doing other activities than yoga, for example when watching a movie or while on the phone. Now to really perform Siddhasana, it involves a few more steps than the Ardha variant. You still press the heel of one foot against the perineum, but now you also place the other foot on top of the first foot. You perform it like this. Now for Siddhasana. You can first have the legs stretched out in front of you, the same way as for Ardha Siddhasana. Then you just tilt the left leg a little to the side, bring it inwards, place the heel against the perineum. Then you tilt the right leg, bring it inwards, and you place the right foot on top of the left foot. Then you tuck in the front part of the right foot between the calf and thigh of the left leg, like this. And you have the heel of the right foot pressing against the pubic region, just above the genitals. Then you make a space between the calf and thigh of the right leg, and you bring up the toes of the left foot like this. Now you are sitting in Siddhasana. Now to easier be able to see just what I'm doing, I will demonstrate it again, but with a close-up view this time. You bring in the left leg and press the perineum firmly with the heel. Now you place the right leg's foot on top. And here, the gap between the heels forms a space where you can position your genitals without injuring them. Now this is how you tuck the front part of the right foot between the calf and thigh of the left leg, and making sure that the heel of the right foot is gently pressing the pubic region. Then you open up a little space between the calf and thigh of the right leg. Bring the toes of the left foot up. Here it is actually a matter of progression, of how much you bring up of the foot. In the beginning when learning this pose, you may bring up just the toes, as I just showed. But then, as you become more flexible in your ankle, you will actually be able to bring up more of your foot, like this. This requires some flexibility, as the foot is bent a certain way, in order for the heel to still press the perineum. When you are done bringing the foot up, you might want to adjust its heel a little to make sure that it is still pressing against the perineum. The advantage of bringing up more of the foot, and not just the toes, is that with both feet tucked in this way, you sit more stable than if you would just bring up the toes of that one foot. Remember that the head, neck and back should be kept straight, and the legs should touch the ground, or be as close as possible to it. When first starting to sit like this, You may feel some pain where your ankles are touching, but gradually, the more you practice, the less you will feel this pain. And if you are very bothered by this in the beginning, you can place a folded piece of fabric between the ankles, and then gradually placing a thinner and thinner piece of fabric until you remove the fabric altogether when you have adjusted to sitting this way. In the beginning it may also feel slightly uncomfortable with the heel pressing against the perineum, but you will get used to this pressure with time. Just remember that you should not sit on the heel, but just press the heel firmly against the perineum. I can also say that when pressing the heel against the perineum, it is easier to do this when you have no clothes restricting the connection between the heel and perineum, and I usually sit in this pose myself without any clothes on, but not while recording videos, for obvious reasons. In the beginning when training for Siddhasana, you may find it easier to get into the pose if you first place a pillow underneath your buttocks and then get into the pose the same way as I demonstrated earlier. You might wonder which leg to use first when pressing the heel against the perineum. This isn't really important. I use the heel of my left leg to press against the perineum, but you may just as well use the heel of the right leg to press against the perineum, if this feels better for you, and then instead place the left leg on top of it. What is of importance is really just that one heel is pressing against the perineum, and it doesn't matter which heel. Now we'll talk a little about why it is important to sit the way you do in this pose. You see, you have a pranic body, and even though it bears another name, it is not separate from your physical body, but is just a finer, more subtle sheet of it. And any changes made to your pranic body will have a corresponding effect on your physical body, and vice versa. In this pranic body you have nadis, which are energy channels, and chakras, which are energy vortexes, where some important nadis meet. Now when you press your heel against the perineum, you stimulate the Muladhara chakra, which is the point from where 3 of the largest nadis originate in the pranic body. This in turn stimulates energies of your pranic body and has a purifying effect on all of the nadis. Also know that by keeping the other heel against the pubic region, you stimulate Svadhisthana chakra, where some important nadis of the pranic body meet. I will talk more of the pranic body, its nadis and chakras in a future video. For now, just know that merely by sitting and meditating in Siddhasana, you perform some preliminary stimulation of energy, which is useful for when later working directly with the chakras, and when later raising the powerful energy of Kundalini, which could get stuck if energy is not able to flow freely in your pranic body, and thus causing various problems. But rest assured, I am teaching you all the prerequisites in a safe progression over the course of my videos. So if you just follow along as I release my videos and practice according to their instructions, you will be duly prepared and have the means for Kundalini to ascend smoothly once I progress in my videos to teaching you how to work directly with this powerful energy. Now you might ask what kind of meditation you could perform while sitting in Siddhasana. Well, you could for example perform a deep breathing meditation combined with Ujjayi pranayama, and I describe just how to perform this meditation in a video you could find by clicking up here. Even though I in that video demonstrated this meditation while sitting in Padmasana, you could just as well perform it while sitting in Siddhasana. In later videos I will also demonstrate more meditations you could perform while sitting in Siddhasana. Thanks for watching this Siddhasana video, and remember to like it if you enjoyed it, and clicking the subscribe button as well as the notify button to not miss any of my future videos. I also welcome your questions and very much look forward to interacting with you in the comment section of this video.